Hey guys, warm welcome. Get back to you guys in a second. Boy.
Hey everybody, is it a terrible echo now or is it doable? Because one mic is situated in the simulator and we are still outside preparing some final checks here. Terrible.
Hier moet jij zo in.
En dan gaat ook zo meteen, maar je kan hier zitten, je kan hier op de jump seat zitten. Als je zo op je hoofd kan je op de jump seat zitten. Ja, dat moet je aannemen. Nee, ik ga voor dit zitten.
Oh, jij gaat voor dit zitten.
Als je dat zit, ik wil wat dingetjes doen uit.
Ja, zou je alvast een introductie willen doen?
Ja, ga zitten. Even kijken. Ik heb morgen hier op de website.
Druk jij er lekker bij?
Ja. Zeker weten.
Zwaai hem vast in de kijkers.
Hi guys! Ze kunnen ons horen. Dat is goed. Ja, ben ik verstaanbaar?
Ik ga het even checken.
Ik heb hier...
Luid en duidelijk. Jullie zijn te horen.
Ja, zijn wij te horen?
Ja.
Zijn wij
Wat gezegd, Sjoerdie, wat ben je stil vandaag? We hebben je nog helemaal niet gehoord.
Hello guys! Well, unfortunately this is the first minute you can hear my voice and it's not over yet. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. But I will give you a little bit of welcome on the simulator. Of course it's not Sebastian, but he will introduce himself, who he is, what is he doing, where we are, and of course he give us a little bit of instruction about the simulator. I can tell you a lot about it, but he can tell me even more. But he's preparing the flight already. As you can see, the autopilot is getting touched. So here we go, guys.
Don't forget the seatbelt signs. Not smoking.
No smoking. Put the seatbelt signs on, please. Table straight up.
Kijk, dus ik kan even op de jump seat zitten daar. Kijk of dat gaat lukken.
can I start?
Yeah, I will stay outside for the start. Yes, you can.
Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Peter, and next to me is Sjoerd. We are both the pilots for this night's streaming.
Yep.
You're situated at the cockpit of Sim Flying's Boeing 737 simulator in Amsterdam. And what we're going to do tonight is a series of special flights. So anyone who has a question about what we are doing, or how you do this, or how do you do that, just ask your question and we try to answer that as soon as possible. Our first flight will be from Oude, and Oude is the airport name of Innsbruck, through the valley of the Inn, the river the Inn, and it will be a mountain flight, followed by a special landing, which means what makes it special is that we don't use any nav aids, we don't use any frequencies for ILS, so we all fly manual by hand, and we give you some explanation during this flight. We are situated at runway 26, and Sjoerd will be preparing the aircraft for our departure, which means that he checks our speeds and checks all numbers on our autopilot. However, we don't use the autopilot completely. We use especially our hands for flying around through the valley, because flying in the mountains is not possible using the autopilot. We are flying at very low altitude, and that's why this flight is, in fact, in reality, it's forbidden. So what we are doing is completely illegal. Don't do it with a real Boeing 737, because you will be grounded.
It's Sjoerdie's fault, as usual.
I won't press the red button. This is the red button, guys.
So you're not allowed to do this, but it's possible also. Let's start.
Yes.
And first of all, you have to do some checklists. That's normal business for pilots in the Boeing 737. And what we'll do is the before taxi checklist. That's a number of items that we haven't done yet. And we do the before takeoff checklist. So
Yes, thank you very much.
Sjoerd is reading the items and I'll check this.
Yes. So we're going to check our before taxi checklist. We're starting with the generators. Are they on?
Generators are on.
Are the flight heat? Are they on?
They are on, both.
Nice. The anti-ice.
Anti-ice, not required because the temperature is high outside.
It's currently like 11 degrees Celsius. So that's good. Isolation valve. Is that Oude?
Oude.
Check. Nice. And just touch the switches. Are they continuous, Peter?
Continuous.
Recall?
Recall. Let's
I
check.
will check, of course.
Push it in until it's illuminated.
There it is.
And is everything extinguished, then it's okay.
Now
Oh,
we're
we
starting
forgot one check. Is catering on board?
The catering is on board, of course, guys. Why always the catering? It's the flying matters. It's not catering matters, guys. Come on. So there you go. The auto brake. Are they out yellow?
Set.
Set. And just start the levers. Are they idle?
Idle in detent.
Nice. I checked also. That's good. Flight controls. Are they checked?
Idle check. Checked.
What are the flight controls? Maybe. What are the
To explain. The flight controls. This is the flight controls. It's the yoke, which means that we can move it forward, we can move it backward, lifts the nose up or pushes the nose down. We can make right turns, we can make left turns, and also we have here our throttles. And our throttles give the engines more power, like this. Maybe you can hear it. And less power. We get a warning because we have our parking brakes on, so the system doesn't understand what we are doing, and that gives us a warning.
There you go, guys. So now you know how to fly a plane. The ground equipment. Well, it's from my side, it's clear here by Peter.
Okay.
And for you, it's clear?
It's clear? Yeah.
Nice. Okay, then we can move on to the before takeoff checklist. We're starting with flaps. Now they roll on
Flaps
5.
five.
I will put it on 5.
That's fine.
These are the flaps, guys. Here you can see it's moving, and we're waiting for the light to turn on green and orange is out, so we know the flaps is extended. So there you go, guys. Stabilize stream. How many units we have?
I want to have 3.8.
So we
Yeah, 3.7.
we will.
Shifting the stabilizer trim, the fine tuning of the aircraft moves these wheels. You can see them moving and now moving back. And that's done by these switches on the steering column. Thumb switches. So
Nice. We are now
3.8.
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but Dutchie says if I were Boeing, I would let Sjoerdie check all checklists before introducing a new aircraft.
How many trucks you have? Can I ask you how many trucks you have? I mean, I can serve a lot of passengers to catering, and they're still alive, I hope.
Hey, by the way, Don, good to see you. I'm not sure if you heard me the first time because we are fiddling with the mic, but the other day you gave us a very nice suggestion simulator-wise, so maybe you can repeat it one more time in the chat and we can check if we can fly this pattern later on. Oh, and by the way, we do have an interesting flight later on with a very special landing.
Yeah.
Am I right? Can you
Yeah.
tell anything about that? Just a little cliffhanger?
Maybe it has to do with a river. It's situated in New York, and I'll tell you later more about it.
Excellent.
I thought
Love
the pilot
the
has a
cliffhanger.
mustache, right? He had a mustache.
He had a mustache,
Yeah.
yeah.
He had a mustache. So there you go, guys. Check YouTube, right? So,
We are now almost ready for the takeoff. We have checked everything more than we did a few minutes ago. I have loaded our flight management computers with some basic information. We have not loaded a complete flight because all this flight is manual flying, so we have to look outside. Normally you don't look out of your windows when you're flying this type of aircraft. You only have to look at your instruments. But this flight is done partly manual, so we have to look outside to avoid meeting the mountains in an unpleasant way.
perfect explain.
Yeah? Okay, let's go.
Let's go. I will take off the put the park brakes off. Are we ready? Right.
You fly the aircraft,
I will.
so,
And you will do the throttles
and I'll tell the people what's happening.
That's
So guys,
very good.
go find yourself a little bit of shelter right now.
Right now.
Sjoerdie has controls.
Are you ready for thinking something?
Let's give it up for Sjoerdie then.
Controls and
All matters, 5 matters, guys.
Sjoerd will set the thrust at about 90%, and that's an amount of thrust that is calculated by the computers, and we do it manually. Normally you can do it like this way. Now the other throttle is armed, and if I push this one, you can see that the throttles are moving forward automatically. I'll shift this off, and Sjoerd does it now manually. So we are rolling now in the runway. Sjoerd uses his feet to keep us on the center line. And if the speed is high enough, V2 speed, V1 speed, and V rotate speed,
80
then
knots.
shift the nose in a position of 15 degrees. It's coming now. Rotate.
Yeah, so guys, it's actually not the first flight for Sjoerdie.
And as soon as we have liftoff, then we
Yeah.
set the gear in the upper position.
Positive rate. Ik wil je die commands horen schreeuwen, Sjoerd. Come on.
Nice.
So Sjoerdie, how many flights you had before?
Oh my god. Well, in this simulator, really lot, but not before this simulator stream, of course. Wait, I have to.
Approaching 4,000 feet.
Yep, I will put the nose back a little bit. There we go.
Our speed will be 190.
190, thank you. Before have to check the takeoff checklist, please.
Later on.
Sorry.
Normally you retract your landing gear, that's done. And after that you speed up to a speed that in which you can put your flaps in the upper position. But because we are flying through a valley with a lot of turns, we keep our speed low at 190 knots. And that means that we have to keep the flaps in position 5. These flaps enable us to fly at lower airspeeds. If you should keep the flaps in the upper position, then our speed should be 220, and that's too much for flying through this valley. You can see we have to make turns through this valley, and later on it will be more difficult.
So, are you already airsick, guys?
After takeoff checklist,
Check, thank you very much.
first of all we set this off, we set this in the off position. And we check the engine bleeds, which are on. We check the packs, which are in the auto position. We check the landing gear up and in the off position. And check the flaps, they remain in 5. And we check the altimeters, which are standard 1013 hectopascal.
Do the pressing throttle, please? Or do I do it myself? Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Okay, more to the left, to the right.
To the right. Check. Right, left, right.
Our actual altitude is not those 4,000. However, there's 4,000 on our altimeters, but that's our altitude above sea level. And the terrain over here is about 1,500 feet high above sea level. So our actual altitude above the ground is shown by this altimeter, and we are only flying about 1,700 feet above the ground. So we are close to the ground, as you can see outside.
The valley is turn to the left, right?
Okay.
Yes. So guys, any airstick already or something?
Hungry? Time for
Set this
catering
at
maybe?
4,500 feet.
So we're
Let's
going to climb a little
let's
bit.
climb a bit, because the ground comes too close.
Flying only on the displays, not really visual, so I can check my altitude, I can check my speed. I have to maintain at 4,500 feet at this time, and have to keep the speed at 190 knots, as Peter just explained to you. So I really focus on what's going on here. So this is actually flying manual. There's no.
We got a question here for a barrel roll.
A barrel roll.
Or a barely roll.
Well, we can do like this. Maybe some waving?
Yeah, why not give us a wave?
Are you ready? Yes, so there you go, guys. That's what I'm doing. Well, that's me.
2,500.
Yeah, we're crashing down. So, do you already have some flows from your question?
Okay, so and where are we heading for at the moment?
We're flying through the valley. We don't have a special heading,
Okay.
but we follow the valley, all its turns.
2,500.
And it will be more and more narrow, so it will be more difficult to fly through this valley. And
okay.
in the end, the valley goes up, and then we have to fly over the mountains and climb to an altitude of about 11,000 feet.
Okay.
And we make a turn, and we will land at Innsbruck at the same runway as we used for our takeoff.
Okay, so it will be a round trip,
Yeah.
and we will be back at Innsbruck later on. Excellent.
I have to tell you actually, guys, this is my second time, and I'm flying this plane on the right seat. Normally, most flights we've done will be used on the left seat. So it's for me also really useful.
So it's actually your second flight in this position on the right
Yep.
seat.
That is where he belongs, because he's a student.
Yep, and he's the
So,
captain.
and I'm the captain, so this is the first officer seat, and I sit on the captain's seat.
Yes.
So let's say we run some checks. Where are we looking for then? So if we scan the instrument from here to there or from left.
That's a good question. Where are we looking to at our instrument?
Yeah.
We have, I don't know if it's visible for the viewers. This one. This is an important one.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah,
visible.
it is.
Yeah.
I'll shift my seat aside. This is the primary flight display, and this is a number of instruments together. We do here have our attitude display, which shows the attitude of the aircraft, nose up, nose down, banking left and banking right. Over here is our speed, our airspeed, which is now at 196, so a bit high. It should be 190, which is set over here. And over here, this is our altimeter. It's in feet, so 1 feet is 30 centimeters, 1,000 feet is 300 meters, and we are now at an altitude of 4,500.
4,500 feet.
One of the most important parts of this instrument during manual flight, which Sjoerd is doing now, is this little bar at the upper right side. And this is our vertical speed indicator. And it's the vertical speed indicator that shows us whether we are flying straight without losing altitude or gaining altitude. So this needle has to be in the middle. If it's in the middle, then we are flying straight on. If the needle is pointing upward, then we are climbing. If the needle is pointing downward, then we are descending. So controlling the aircraft is a matter of keeping this needle in the middle, unless we have to climb. So let's climb a bit, and let's climb to 5,000 feet. It's only 500 feet, so it's a little altitude change. And what I'll do is put a 5,000 feet in this panel. 5,000 feet is shown here, and you see the needle is pointing upward because you lift the nose just a bit up. And the altimeter is going up, and this 5,000 is coming closer. You should put the nose down again if we are on the desired altitude. You see what he's doing? We have now almost a 5,000 feet altitude, and the needle is going back to the middle. That's how it's done. And of course you have to give a bit more power to climb, because if he doesn't give us more power, our airspeed will drop too much.
Yeah, and you're on the right, right?
In front of us there's a type of turn that we call an S-turn. So we have to move to the right, and very fast we have to move to the left again to make this turn.
So maybe that's why it's not really allowed to do this in real life. So guys, still enjoying?
So how are you doing, Sjoerdie? Are you
I'm
enjoying?
fine.
Are you sweating already? Focused?
I'm really focused, so I won't get crash or something like that. I'm doing a lot of give my attention to my speed and to my altitude, and yeah, you can't see from the outside what its conditions are when you fly with the plane. If your nose is going up or it's going down, and that's why my primary display, it shows me everything what I need to know. So that's why I'm really, you might probably see me only watching here, but not what's going on there. And so now I'm turning to the right to make that.
How long approximately before we get back to Innsbruck?
In just a few minutes we are making our turn back to the airport.
Okay.
But first we have to choose a climb. We have to climb because we cannot turn at this point. These mountains are too close nearby.
Too many mountains.
And so we have to fly to the valley. And let's climb to 11,000 feet. So
11,000
apply
feet.
more power. Just about 80%. That's
Yes. I'll put it a little bit back. So make sure I'm not hitting that mountain with my right wing over here.
As you can see, we have set 11,000 feet as our altitude. We are climbing now at 4,400 feet per minute. The altimeter is going up very fast. our pitch, the angle with the horizon, is about 15 degrees. Don't go above the 15 degrees because our airspeed already is dropping, so lower the nose a bit.
Here we go. So this is your first time seeing Sjoerdie flying, and you're flying minus the channel. So there you go, guys. The crazy guy who's flying a plane.
What I
So,
switched on is our terrain display. It's over here, and I can show you our vertical situation display, as it's called, VSD, and it shows our climb angle, and it shows that we are with this climb angle, we don't hit any mountains. So we have enough distance to be mountains below us. Okay, turn left.
Turn left.
So we're getting some interesting suggestions for the flights after this one.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
Stormy flights, and of course the one in the Hudson we're looking forward to.
Aha,
Ah, they know.
Yeah, they already guessed it.
Why? Is that because of the bus station?
2,500.
Terrain. Okay, so we're about to make a turn back to Innsbruck, correct?
Yep. Finding the...
And this will be a manual landing in Innsbruck, and it's a difficult landing because visibility is very poor,
2,500.
and the distance from our position to the runway will be very short. So we have not much time to give us the right setup for our landing. It will be a difficult landing.
2,500.
Keep turning.
Yes,
There's a second valley which you can use.
There on the left, right, with the
Yeah.
roads there.
Okay, keep going.
And we got some suggestions here for engine failures as well. So
Okay, later on.
later on.
This is not the right moment for an engine failure over here.
Well,
Why not?
Well, then your votes will definitely win. One time. At least one time. At least.
Well, I can show you in the meantime. I'll show this flying. One of the test functions we prove before we do our first takeoff of the day is the engine fire system. And if I'll switch it on like this, then you can see and hear our engine fire system. So this is luckily this is only a test. So there's nothing wrong with our engine.
Oh my god, it's a fire.
This is what you see and what you hear if one of the engines is caught fire.
I'm heading now to the valley, I believe. So I think we can start descending a bit. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes.
2,500.
You may descend to 7,000.
7,000 feet, yeah.
Descending is just a matter of moving the thrust backwards, and then pitching the nose down, and not too much because our airspeed will go upwards, and we want to manage the same airspeed as we have, 1 minus 0. So it's all choosing and balancing with your pitch.
Transition altitude.
Yeah.
And that's a very common practice. The airspeed is manual flying regulated by pitch if you're climbing or descending.
Here's the budding in the right.
Yeah.
So we're really flying towards.
No, it's okay. It's maybe something.
Yeah.
Flying straight on.
There between those mountains.
Yeah.
Yes. Just beyond the cloud there.
2,500.
Heading towards. And if you probably notice, the speed is not many change at all. I'm just using my nose, my teach setting of this plane to make sure that the speed is not going up or down. It's basically, this the gravity of the Earth put the planes that much down that the airspeed will maintain this same speed. If I will go lower, the speed will go up, and if the nose go down, the nose go down, then the speed will go up again. So there you go.
TSS compliments to the captain. You are doing the instructions very well, sir.
Thank you.
His name is Peter, by the way.
Captain Peter.
You can see the valley down below.
Yes.
Follow
Turn
the
left
bottom
here.
of the valley.
Completely turning left and then right there between those mountains. It's 7,200.
Flying through the mountains is a very
2,500.
demanding exercise because flying one way, you probably will think, okay, I'll remember all the points and I recognize them when I'm flying back. But if you're returning to your original point and you're flying back, then the world seems to be completely different. So many people are getting lost by flying in the mountains because you cannot remember the route you're flying. It's very confusing. This is a flight which I have done by myself about 7 times. At this moment, since 6 years, flying through this valley is forbidden. You have to get a license to fly through the mountains over here. So I don't have those licenses. Only the ambulance and police helicopters are getting this kind of license. Follow this valley over there.
Yeah. Just before the clouds and then right here. Yes.
It's to the right.
It's still 7,200, right?
Okay, we have arrived at 7,000 feet, so we judge if whether we can descend further more. And I would recommend that we wait about half a minute, and then we descend to about 5,000 feet. Well, Sjoerd is flying very well. He controls the airspeed very well. It's all done manual. I can force Sjoerd to descend at 5,000 feet by putting the thrust completely back. And now we have to choose a pitch that gives us the same airspeed which we do. If the pitch is too low, the airspeed will go up. If the pitch is not low enough, keep the nose up too much, then the airspeed will drop down. And the airspeed is at this moment 186, and that's okay. Should be 190, but 186 is okay. It's within the envelope we should have. Okay. Turn right. Check. You can see if we should fly straight on, then we are meeting the mountains in an unpleasant way.
Like you don't want to. Yeah, but we can give you 5,000 there.
5,000.
Actually, I have to tell you guys about this current flight. What I'm doing now it was my first time when I was in the simulator, and I had to do this same flight as I. Oh, sorry, guys. So this is.
I'll set the simulator in the freeze to explain for a moment.
Yeah.
I have a number of knobs to handle the simulator, and I have now pressed the freeze button. It means everything stops. We don't stop. And the reason that I'm doing this is to show you.
On Sjoerdie?
The reason that I use this freeze knob is to tell you about something which really did happen over here. Sjoerd wanted to fly in that valley, but this is the main valley. I hope you can see it over the left over here, and that's a kind of a sub valley. And in reality, the pilot has flown into that valley, but this valley is a dead end. It means it stops. And that was because he was confused. He didn't know his situation. Situational awareness was very poor, so he flew the wrong direction. And he was also a bit misled by a number of lights that he saw, lights in a row. And he thought, oh, that should be the runway. But it wasn't a runway. It were the lamps of a parking place. So he put his Cessna on this parking place. He damaged 4 cars and himself, but he survived. But that's what can happen by flying in the mountains.
Yep.
So we continue now.
Thanks, Peter.
Back.
Yeah.
Normally you do do your descent checklist
2,500.
long before you are descending. Sometimes 1 hour before you are landing, you're doing your descent checklist. But you have to do it now at this moment. And the descent checklist contains a number of items that are important to set up and to check before you are continue your procedure for the landing. So what we always control is the pressurization. You want your airplane in the cabin to have the same air pressure as the outside air pressure. So if you're flying from one spot with a low air pressure to a spot with a high air pressure, you should regulate your air pressure correct. So that means that you have to set 1900 feet over here in this air pressure panel, and that means that our air pressure will be the same if you open the doors as from the inside and the outside. You have to check the recalls, whether there are some warnings still active or not, so it all has to extinguish, which is done now. You have to set the auto brake system, and the auto brake system is a system that gives us constant power on our brakes, constant deceleration in order not to overshoot the runway at the landing.
2,500.
You have to look at the landing data, and the landing data are of course the speeds we have to fly on our final approach. The final approach is when we have the flaps down, we have our gear down, and then we should have a very low airspeed, and this airspeed is within very narrow limits, and our computer calculates the airspeed we should have on the final approach, which is 137, and we add 5 knots in correction, so 142 will be our airspeed at our final. And then we have to check our altimeters, which should be the same and should be calculated on our local air pressure UNHs and so on. So it's done.
Maybe some viewers will already recognize
I got
the spelling.
a question here. Is this let me see? Is this ProSim Boeing 738 cockpit software? Or
No, it's not. It's not ProSim software. It's a special software. The view you can see outside is the graphic engine of an old flight simulator program called FS 2004. It shouldn't. Yep. It's a very old program, but we managed to get off the graphic engine, and the rest is special software, professional software, because we train a lot of pilots over here. Sjoerd is now flying towards the airport, and one of the difficulties is that we cannot see the runway from this position, so we have to make a turn to the left later on, and the airport is only visible at a very late moment. That makes this landing a bit challenging. We have to descend to 4,000 feet, descend to 3,500 feet. And in front of us there is a hill, little hill, on the side of the valley, and this is our waypoint. On this hill is a little village with a tennis court and a church and a school and some houses, and that is we aim at this village. And we should arrive there above this village at an altitude of 3,500 feet.
2,500.
This is Sjoerd doing now. On our way towards this village, we start what it's called configurating. And configurating means that we bring the aircraft in a condition that is suitable for our landing. And first of all, we get
Landing gear down.
the landing gear down. You see the landing gear is coming down now, 3 red lights. It's all down, then we should have 3 green lights. We set the flaps at
This is 15.
15, and we adjust our airspeed to an airspeed that is suitable for flying at the 15 flaps position.
Which is 165.
A bit more to put.
Yep.
On the left side, I think it's difficult for our viewers to see.
Yeah, I think so.
You
Yeah.
can see a number of red lights, and these are called the PAPI lights. precision approach path information. And when one of these lights turn from red to white, then it's time to start our final descent. And then I will put the flaps in position 30. I'll adjust again the airspeed. Shoot will fly manually to the airport and to the runway. The lights are still red at this moment, and now they are turned right. Fly a bit straight up.
Yep.
And you can descend at 700 feet per minute. That's 30.
Check.
Speed 142.
Landing checklist, please.
And the landing check is very good. Over there you can see it maybe. You can see the runway. It's two red and two white lights. The parking lights. Landing checklist. HL start switches set to be continuous, and that's done to keep the ignition system alive. Speed brake in the arm position. These are the flaps that is coming up landing automatically. You can see them moving backwards. Landing gear down and 3 green lights. And the flaps 30 and a green light from the leading edge flaps. So we are now fully configured. We are on final with a speed of 142. Very well done.
Sjoerdie, how are you doing? You're so quiet.
We're good.
Are you focused?
Normally you have
No,
in this
I'm
kind
not.
of kind of aircraft all kinds of indicators on your screens which helps you to align with the runway. But this what Sjoerd does is very difficult. It's flying visually, flying manually towards the runway. And
2 vingers onder de horizon, jongen.
500.
and keeping for
2 fingers in the nut, guys.
for those who are flying at home, keep the runway straight up. Then you know that you're really in front of the runway. Don't let the runway at this position or that position. Keeping it straight up and then you're fine. Right in front of the
300.
runway.
Approaching minimums.
Check.
200.
Overshoot.
100.
50 knots
50.
up.
40. 30. 20.
Got it.
Okay.
10.
10. Okay, speed brakes are going up. Nice. Still have room to make a takeoff.
They say perfect Ryanair landing, they say.
Oh, really?
Smoky!
Smoky landing. How many butters, guys? Rating from 9 to 10? I mean, come on, guys.
So this was our first flight. Be prepared for the second one later on. So if you have things to ask,
Of course.
and I'll take a cup of coffee if you. It's okay with you.
It's now going to be the master itself.
Well done, Sjoerdie. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, very
Thank you
nice,
very
very
much.
nice. Yep.
Thank you very much, indeed. And please don't call it Ryanair landing.
Hey, we're here for a bit of pleasure as well.
Okay, this right
Let
there.
us have a little bit of fun. Come on.
Of course.
Hey, but seriously, great job.
Thank you.
Sjoerdie,
Thank you very much, guys. So it's
Oh,
not the end.
Victor says 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. There you go.
Very stable. Yeah.
Really stable.
Marjolein says well
Fair
done.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Guitars are like stupid says no tires blow? Question mark. Jill says great job.
I heard some metal wrinkling. I don't know. I don't know if that's the carpet or the gear. I don't know. I really don't know.
We have an instructor station over right. You cannot see that. That's an instructor station which we can feed with all kind of malfunctions. You can change our situation, and we can change airports. We can change all weather conditions. So I'll move to the instructor station to set up a new flight for us. So I'll be back within a few minutes. Zo, is dit leuk?
Hartstikke leuk. Je doet het ontzettend goed. Ik kan merken dat je vaker mensen instructie hebt gegeven.
Kun je nagaan, dat heb wij zo gedaan.
Hartstikke leuk.
Je moet even checken van wat je denkt dat mensen.
Ja, wat ze leuk vinden.
dit is natuurlijk een leuk vluchtje, kunnen we
Ja.
even uitleggen met de handvliegen,
Ja.
maar we kunnen nu een beetje upgraden.
Okay, so
Heb jij
guys,
gedachten op vluchten die je hebt gedaan en die je inderdaad interessant vindt?
guys, we are planning now the very next flight. So of course we need your input, guys. Let me know what we should do. Maybe we have a suggestion weather-wise or airport-wise or
berg vliegt en dan de lamp op.
some type of situation.
Of dat u de lamp moet blijven volgen. Maar op Madeira zo.
Het is, nee, dat is LICR, dat is Richard Balabria,
Ja,
maar Kaitak heeft het ook.
ja, Madeira heeft het ook. Dat je dan op 4 mijl.
Is Kaitak een leuke?
Op 4 mijl moet ja, 180 graden draai moet maken.
Je kan hem in Kaitak zetten. We kunnen ook in Dubai vliegen en laten zien hoe een ILS-landing gaat.
Oh ja, dat is ook leuk. Gewoon
Dan vliegen we eerst een rondje Dubai rond die gebouwen en dan doen we een ILS-landing.
Dat is ook leuk.
Oh, Sint Maarten wordt nog genoemd.
Ja,
Sint Maarten.
Sint Maarten krijgen ze.
Okay.
Ja, die komt later op.
So guys, a landing at St. Martin and a landing in the Hudson will come later on. For now we need just a little bit more just to warm up. So can we do an engine failure at takeoff?
Zo, dat is meteen het moeilijkste.
Yeah? Yeah, for you guys maybe, but for me it's a different story.
Are you ever did that?
Come on, we have 2 engines.
Oh really? Are we?
Or let me see, what do you
Ja,
have more
what
suggestions?
we can do is we do a takeoff in Dubai.
Takeoff in Dubai? Okay.
Fly some around these spectacular buildings manually, and then we prepare for a normal ILS landing. And I'll explain how it's done.
Excellent.
ILS landing. But then,
okay, hold on 1 sec. So guys, we will do a little flying tour around some nice buildings at Dubai. Then we will go for an ILS approach at Dubai Airport. And Peter will explain some things about how the ILS approach works.
Yep.
Yeah.
en dan pak ik even een chart, want ik heb een
Ja.
chart nodig voor
De gegevens hebben we natuurlijk. And I will also leave for a second the simulator so you can join the cockpit only, not me. Finally, that's good though.
Leuk man, goed gedaan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think it's now time for you to give yourself a little view to the viewers how you look like inside of the simulator.
How I will look like. This time I will keep my pants on. Fits like a glove.
So, Sebastian.
So, excellent. So how does it look, guys? Hello, by the way, guys. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining. Ooh, we got air traffic control.
Yeah. That's the real one, this was.
It's nice sitting here. Very nice.
On your left there, on your left hand. Below, on your seat here. There's like a lever here. Make you and you move your hips.
Oh,
it's about to
Sjoerdie
moving
makes
his
me
hips.
move my hips.
There you can move yourself into the beautiful cockpit, of course. So you put this handle like here.
So we will do the next flight, or
Well, I think so.
Or no?
Do you want to go flying or?
Nou, ja, Peter, wil jij deze nog doen of wat zullen we doen? Misschien makkelijker of niet? Want jij wilde ILS uitleggen, toch?
Nou, les uitleggen en daarna doen we die engine failure.
Ja, precies.
Ah,
zo.
oké,
Maar
oké.
dan ga ik daarna lekker vliegen. Dus
But
ik maak
first, wait. You guys always said to me, I'm like the catering guy from KOM, blah blah blah. And some say you're already right near landing. Thank you very much for that. But of course, I couldn't go with empty-handed. I mean, I had to give something to Sebastian. Even I wasn't there on the streams. I really feel sad about that. But of course, I want to give something for you and for your family. I think especially for your daughter. She will love this. And it's a little bag, as you can see here. with a beautiful, really KLM back, with a pen inside, with a toothbrush, with everything she wants. So there you go.
And this is for my daughter, you say? It will be very hard not to keep it myself. Wow, guys, look
And
at this.
If she doesn't like that, there's still a little bit of Lego if she loves it to play.
Awesome, Sjoerdie, awesome. Why?
So, because you love
She will
so
be
much.
very happy with this.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm getting already jealous, by the way, guys. I don't have that no more. Okay, you realize I don't have that no more.
You can play with it together. It's not a problem at all.
Of course.
How nice, man! Thank you so much.
I mean, you
appreciate
really
it.
love KLM. I know you love aviation. Why not give a little bit of the airplane itself? I mean, that is the really old business class package where you get from KLM every time when you're flying in there to make yourself comfort. So you can open it and there's a little pen in there. There's a little mask for your eyes to blind yourself if you want to go sleeping. There's even some ear drops for you, and it's a little package with a toothbrush and a tube. So I think you enjoy the flight even more now.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, I will wash my hands later on.
Yeah.
Sjoerdie, thank you so much.
You're
man,
welcome.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. And for your daughter, if you're looking, enjoy it.
Julie, if you're watching, we got something special for you. Julie, thank you so much. Guys, I will give you back the aircraft. And,
Get out of the cockpit.
We will change sheets later on.
Get out of the cockpit.
Look at
Ja, ik moet even rekening houden met een beetje. Ja, het staat zo. Het zit nu wel mooi vast.
super.
Gecentreerd.
Top.
So now you can see by only me. Yeah, I know.
Okay, you're going back to that seat?
Yeah, of course. I will give you the captain seat.
Thank you. So hello guys, we are preparing for our next flight. And we do everything a bit faster than you normally would do in a normal reality flight. We have repositioned the aircraft in Dubai. As you can see, it's a really busy airport, one of the biggest in the Middle East, one of the biggest in the world, even so. And what we will do is make a normal takeoff. And the takeoff is almost done manually. And then we fly towards the city, which we will fly around some of these fantastic buildings in Dubai. And then we prepare for a normal ILS landing. And an ILS landing is a landing which is done with the help of a number of special electronic devices we have on board. And I'll explain how it's done, this ILS landing, and how pilots prepare for the ILS landing and in which order they do their actions to make a safe landing. For this landing we use this type of charts. And on this chart there's all the information pilots need to make their approach and their landing on a safe way. Which means we have to use radio beacons, they have a frequency which we have to set on, we have to use a special track line towards the runway, we have to use a number of speeds and altitudes we should have on our way to the runway. And Dubai is a very regulated airport. If we violate these regulations, the lowest penalty is $20,000. So we have to do it very on the right way to avoid any. Yeah, if it costs any penalty, then I'll let you pay.
Oh, come on, guys. Yeah, I got a lot of no more. After this flight, I got no more.
First of all, we have to tell we have to tell our flight management computer where we are, how many passengers are on board, what the weight of the aircraft is, how much fuel we have, and which runway we use, which is our origin, which airport we departure, and which airport we will land. And of course, we land also at Dubai Airport. Let's clear this
Stuurbrink says ILS means impact landing, Sjoerdie.
Oh really? You want to let on me? You want to let on me? Well, I hope you're aiming the right point. Guys, I thought this only flying matters. What are we doing? What are we doing?
QNH is 1016.
1016. Let's see. It's 06. I put already the iOS frequency already on the standard, but it's already active. So I turn off the VOR indicators, so you won't see it yet. So you can explain later on what you see, what you need to see. I put already the pressure altitude, the cap and landing altitude is underneath the 100 feet. It says 10 feet, so there you go. Which altitude you want to fly, so I can put it on the...
No, we let it on the 0.
Okay. Boat? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just one more time, you will take off here at Dubai Airport. Ah, there's actually an Etihad taxiing on the left.
Yeah.
You're hungry, guys? 18?
So we'll take off from Dubai Airport,
Yep.
we'll fly around some interesting buildings,
Yep.
and then we will go for an ILS.
We prepare for an ILS approach and I will explain what we are doing step by step.
And will it be dark or will it...
Later on I'll change the time of the day.
Ah, okay.
Oh well,
Excellent.
maybe I can do it
Yeah.
right now.
Show it.
So I can demonstrate how we can change the weather. We also can change the time of the day and the season, etc. So you want snow in Dubai?
Yeah. Ooh, but I want to go de-icing then.
I don't know if he's doing that. Snow in Dubai.
Well, they have an indoor ice skate. Ice skate or indoor thing. Maybe you guys know. Maybe perhaps somebody from Dubai knows about that. Have you saw snow in Dubai?
Has to load.
Some.
So we got a new member, his name is Kleef, and he just subscribed to a membership as second officer. So thank you so much, Kleef. And why not give you a dedicated landing by Sjoerdie here at an ILS landing
Are you sure? Are you sure?
at Dubai Airport? Will
Are
be
you
very
sure? I
interesting.
put the land.
Yeah,
Or AKA.
you rock, you can manage this.
AKA crash or.
So we changed to
Hey, by the way, Donald, good to see you. Welcome.
approximately 7:15, so it's getting dark in Dubai. So we have prepared for the takeoff into the checklist.
Of course. Let me check for you before takeoff. I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
That's fine. So,
390 and the stabilized trim is 3.8.
3.8.
So we're ready. This is about to go. Continuous. You want to fly it? Are you ready, guys?
Should
Okay.
I move the fan a little bit more forwards this one? Can move the stairs. Is that better for you guys? It's getting hot or not?
It's fine.
Is it okay like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for takeoff?
ready to take off.
I will put the first to 40.
89% thrust.
Yes, of course. Are we moving? We are moving. And I will put this to the 90. There we go. Plus set.
Check the thrust.
Can we test bij dat lille kleine lampje? Kan dat uit? Kan deze uit?
Deze uit.
Ja?
Maybe not.
Of iets zachter? Ja.
Rotate.
Rotate. Gently lifting up the nose. 5 degrees, 7.5, 10 towards 15. Move up.
Yep.
Move up 15. Move up more and more speed.
Yes.
Okay. So then you be in your position.
Do that 500 feet.
You can turn to the right. Make the turn to the right.
Thank you.
Making a short turn. Keep turning to the right.
Well,
Keep in mind 2,500 feet.
Yep.
Lower down the nose.
there we go.
Reduce thrust.
that's okay. Too fast? That's okay. That's okay.
It's very special. Dubai Airport, one of the biggest airports in the world, is situated midst in the city, in the middle of the city. So they don't have
Don't tell the
probably
neighbors.
ears over there.
Don't tell the neighbors over there.
No complaints over noise pollution.
2,500.
They keep turning.
Yep.
You're moving towards the city, and the first building we meet is a building you probably know. It's the Burj Khalifa, which is the highest building on the world. It's about almost 1 kilometer high. Maybe you can see it pointing over there. Shoot will descend now to 1,200 feet.
2,500.
Give me the guys of the air show.
We don't have any permission of the aircraft air controllers to do this. They're just descend a bit faster.
Yep.
1,200 feet and fly towards us. Really straight on towards it. You can see the city of Dubai over here. And this needle formed building is the Burj Khalifa. Well, people in this building are calling the police now. As you can understand.
Don't explain the reason.
Just flying to pass it on the right side.
Roger.
So make a last minute turn to the right.
Yep. So
And then
was
fly around the building with a left turn.
Copy that.
Okay, turn to the left now.
I will.
Yeah. Okay, keep it this way. That's far. This way.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So you can see this building.
Burj Dubai on the left.
Keep turning to the left.
And luckily, do we have winglets? No, we don't have any more.
Checklists.
Yeah, thank you.
This off. Set these things off.
1,000.
Oh, just
Over here you can see the highway. So fly above
Fly
the
below
highway.
here.
Mind your altitude.
Hello.
1,200 feet. So don't do this in real life because you're getting in jail.
The rest of the
You can descend to 700 feet.
700. Check. Focus off. Really nice. Why you want to be at 700?
1,000.
Captain.
Follow.
Yep.
Fly slow here.
This is
Glide slow.
not allowed at all.
Too low here.
Not even in Amsterdam or anything.
And as
Right
a first
slope.
officer you don't have to ask too many questions. You know?
No.
Too low here. Glide slow.
Okay, descend to 500.
Glide slow. Too low here.
500 feet is about 150 meters above the
Glide slow.
So I'll show you
So
what
mind
you
your
can do
head.
if you're
Too
flying a
low here.
Boeing 737.
Glide slow.
Our speed is 190. We get all kinds of warnings about the proximity of the system.
Too
We
low
don't
here.
mind. Too low here.
Okay.
Too low here.
This is my first time, by the way, guys. I'm not getting guided by Peter himself. Luckily, there's no building here to hit with my wings at all.
Too low here.
Check.
500 feet.
Check.
500.
Plane is getting crazy.
Too low terrain.
Sounds like me. Sounds good. Yep.
Too low terrain.
We're now at 480, so that's good.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too
Hi,
low
guys.
terrain.
So imagine that you have dinner and you see an aircraft flying below you.
Yeah, and the blonde guy was just waving.
Okay, concentrate.
Yes.
Too low, terrain.
Still following.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain.
Big water.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. 400. Too low, terrain.
Back to 800 feet.
Check.
Too fast.
Yeah.
We have wings.
I believe no more.
And turn. Big sharp turn. And then the bank angle from about 35 degrees. That's what you have now. That's excellent.
Bank angle.
Excellent. This is a good flying.
Thank you. Yes. Shuttle. Pressure around up.
Kev says F-16s are chasing now.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Greetings from Flight Weather.
2 on your tail. Do we need to shoot some flares?
So this is the Palm Island.
Oh, nice.
Keep turning.
Yes.
Palm invest.
Still a little bit high, but it's okay.
This is the first of the 2 Palm Islands.
Too low
One is
here.
now prepared for building houses.
Too low
Over there
here.
you can see Burj Al Arab, which is a famous hotel. Famous.
Too low here.
Turn to the left.
Yes.
And past the hotel on the right side.
On the right side. Is that
It's over there.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
700.
Too low here.
Oh, okay.
Too low here. Too low here.
That's the building on the right side, right? Yep. 7 feet.
close to the building.
Copy that. Literally, normally
low
I would never
here.
do it like this, but normally,
The building should be passing on the right side, so the building
Too
should be
low
on the
here.
left.
yeah, it will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there. I will fly just towards.
Bit more. This is a hotel with a famous helicopter platform. On this helicopter platform they play the tennis match. Roger Federer and Simona.
Maybe you should try
Famous
that
tennis
over there.
player.
Too low here.
Fly close to the helicopter platforms that our viewers can see.
Yep.
Now give me the controls for a moment because I'm
Yeah. Yeah, more visible.
so be aware of this. I'm not going to land on this helicopter platform.
Alright.
Maybe you can see. Okay, it's passing by now. Over there.
Nice.
Now we have played enough. Now we're gonna prepare for a nice and normal ILS landing. That means that we are going to climb to 2,000 feet. So let's set in 2,000 feet. And then try and a heading of let's see, heading of 330. 330 already. We're maintaining
2000 feet.
190 knots.
Check.
What we have to do is to position our aircraft in front of our route towards the runway. That means that we have to arrive at this point. And so we are flying towards this point by using our displays. And our display is shown. It's a bit busy display. What I can do is clean up the display by erasing our arrival. Maybe you can see there's a white dotted line. This is called the extended runway. It means it's a line from the runway in one line, the right of the runway. So we are flying towards the beginning of the extended runway central. Then we make a turn to arrive at this point. In the meantime, I'll set up our radio frequencies. So that we can receive the frequency for the ILS system on our aircraft. And the frequency is 110 decimal 1. This will be active. Active on this side. Switch the system on this side.
Thank you.
And if you're doing this, then we check whether we have any reception on this content. We check the identifier, which is shown over here, IDDBL. It's the same on our charts. And it's the same. So we have to correct ILS frequency. Then we have to set up this number, 119, and that's the track line. The heading should fly towards 119 is set, and 119 is set.
A little bit low.
There's some traffic over here on our display. It's our TCAS system, so we can expect to receive some warnings of our traffic collision alerting system. Over here, then we are coming too close to this traffic. We should arrive at this line at an altitude of 2,000 feet and at a distance of about 6.2 feet. Our final descent will start. And we can check this by setting up our displays in the approach mode, and we can check whether this line is coming to the middle, then we arrive on the track towards the runway, which is called a localizer, and we check whether this little diamond is in the middle, and then we arrive on our flight school, the line towards the runway. During this process, we have to step by step diminish our airspeed, setting flaps, and finally we set our landing gear down, flaps in the end position. Switch back to the map mode to see where we are, because we don't have any air traffic controllers for us. We have to sort it out all by ourselves. The distance towards the runway is about 13.5 miles. So we fly just a few miles, about 18 miles, and then
Yep.
take a right turn
Okay, so 5 miles
to
to go.
arrive.
Yep. Okay.
Next
Heading
time
is
is runway.
119.
Heading now.
Yeah, 330.
This is a traffic warning because there's a lot of aircraft. It chooses the path and you can see it in the outside.
So I'm not going to hit that one. So that,
Let it pass.
yeah, I will move it back from the back.
Well, more aircraft coming.
Yeah.
I can shoot them down.
Yeah, please, thank you.
Here.
3 miles away.
And you can turn to the right for passes.
Yeah.
That's the second one.
Yeah, I will see it. So I will,
Busy.
I will put it right in between. There we go.
Now this is not, maybe you can see it, I can zoom in, you can zoom out our map. It doesn't look like a normal map as you are used to see from Google Maps or something like that. But it's
I see another plane, so
for aviation. So there's a second one coming, there's one here, there's one here, and there's a third one coming over there. So what I'll do is I'll switch off all our traffic.
yeah,
That's why we have an instructor station. If too much traffic, I'll don't run them, then I'll switch them off.
Already start to.
I'll leave my seat.
My captain is leaving. The captain is leaving, guys. Do you believe this? I will put the heading on 119. Okay, good night.
All traffic is gone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope in real life is able to do that as well. Oh, we just missed the back.
In real life, this type of land
throttle.
Yep, so this will do automatic.
Do the descent checklist.
Yep.
The approach checklist.
I will do the descent. Precision handout. 0, land out. 0. We have to do the recall.
Switch to the approach display, and it shows that we are almost perfectly aligned with the runway. But the autopilot will move this slightly, very slowly, precise back to the middle. Over here you can see this little diamond, then it turns purple, then it's time to set our gear down, flex at 15. Autopilot is trying to keep this in the area. You see it's going purple,
So then the gear down.
makes it down with movement, gear down,
That's 15.
we adjust our speed, flaps 15 speed, adjusting down,
Well,
and you can see as soon as this purple diamond reaches the middle of this little dotted line, then it goes, it gets the nose down to bring us in our final descent and final range. Up there, I hope you can see it faintly on the lights of the runway and the approach lights. Okay, flaps 30, I'll
Yep.
do it for you.
thank you. I put the speeders a little bit down. Is
One photo.
yeah, thank you.
As you see, it moves the nose down. The needle of our vertical speed is going down. 657 feet per minute. And it keeps this one in the middle. It gives a bit more power because even if we are descending, we have our gear down, we have the flaps at 30, so we have a lot of drag. But it requires power.
And now we can do
You can see the lights of the runway, and now we can do
the landing checklist, guys.
landing checklist.
The landing checklist we're calling as the engine start switches. They are continuous, so we're checking that speed brake. They're out.
And arm position.
Yes, I've made it already
Okay.
out for you while you were talking. The landing lights, they're all down. Green lights show. And the flaps are 30 on the green light. So we are
Ready for landing.
for the landing.
This aircraft, Boeing 737-800, has a double autopilot, and that means that we are able to do automatic landing.
1,000.
Auto land. But most companies forbid using the auto land option because it has some disadvantages and it makes pilots very lazy. So the last part of the landing, from about 1,800 feet, and Ryanair they say 650 feet, and the last part of our landing is done manually. It means that we have to disengage the autopilot, and that's done by this knob on the steer. So there's also one knob,
Yep.
and this knob which switches off the auto throttle. So the last part is completely done manually. Almost always in all landings. When there is a lot of wind and there's a lot of gusts, then it switches off sooner. There you go.
400.
Nice on track. It's in the middle. It's in the middle.
Yep, we're stabilized.
That's 300 feet. So disengage the autopilot. Disengage the
Approach
throttle.
minimum.
Disengaging.
Minimums. 200.
Both are disengaged. Should flash towards the runway.
people in the chat saying you're hired, Sjoerdie.
Already? I'm hired.
Good
Are you
job.
sure? Which airliner? That's very important.
Which airliner?
So you can park it over there,
Yeah.
because someone wanted to see an engine failure, and now it's done. And our next departure from the same runway as we used before, Dubai, show you what's happening when you have an engine failure at V1. Okay,
Here we go.
bring it to a full stop over.
Yep. That's my goal.
So Don says V1 cut 500 FVR.
Yeah, correct.
Okay? Don, thanks for sharing.
It's your fault.
Hey, of de geluid van de simulator iets zachter kan, zodat we jullie wat beter kunnen horen praten.
Okay. So next on the
And
slide.
guys, better safe than sorry, time for a battery check, so I will be out just 8 seconds. Hold on, there we go.
Kun je het gele knopje even indrukken en dan krijgen we de reposition.
So guys, and I will try to make one more adjustment. Let's see if we can get some HD footage your way. So the image will freeze in a couple of seconds, and then I will try to crank it up to HD quality. Bear with us.
So you're not still how do you call it? Air sick, plane sick. Well, yeah. So this is basically also my hobby, flying, flying simulating. I can tell you, I started this hobby, like flying with a simulator, starting with the first flight simulator, which was the 5.1. There you go, guys. From there I started. So I,
HD, there we go.
Alright, HD?
Should be.
Are you see my wrinkles, guys, or what? Sorry, guys, come on. I need to start something. Oh.
Do some explanation before you do our takeoff information for you.
Ooh.
Same settings, 143,
Ja.
500, 500.
Neem aan gewoon.
Dan kan je zo blijven erbij staan.
Oh, oké. Cool. Misschien ook wel leuk is. Ja. Daar kom ik een beetje ik kom later voor jou. Maar ze hebben een snelle takeoff op de markt. Hebben ze ook een flight manager computer. Maar gewoon zo dit. Je kan hem ergens aan vastzitten aan zijn eigen. Zo.
Ja.
En je kan er zo.
Ja.
Echt.
Ja, geen wat er zijn er wel vrij dun.
Ja, maar het is gewoon een complete computer. Hè. Je doet alles wat je hier hebt.
Maar de computer zit al helemaal ingebouwd.
Ja, en
Met de software erop en eraan.
alles inderdaad. Ja, echt.
Dus dan is het daarachter al klaar, dan kan ik gewoon iets vertellen.
Are we ready, Sebastian? Can we do some talking?
Sorry hoor, moment.
Oh.
Kom eraan.
Dat is echt een vloek. Dat is het. Lekker was. Nou, maar ik dan hoe het met jou gaat. Kijk, dat is het. Sluit. Yeah.
Okay, so just okay guys, just running some checks here. Is the audio okay still for everybody, and are we still lagging or are we fine? We could be napping, but there should be any lagging at the moment. Are we good? I will check. Yeah, everything is great. Okay. Excellent. Ready to roll.
Dear viewers, I will explain you what's happening really in an engine failure, especially at a low altitude and at a low airspeed. I have programmed our instructor station to give us an engine failure. I don't tell you whether it's the left or the right engine 1 or engine number 2, but we get an engine failure. And of course, when you have an engine failure, all thrust from the failed engine is gone and the other thrust is very high, especially at a takeoff moment. So the difference between the amount of thrust from this engine and this engine is gigantic. And it means that the aircraft wants to do this. So the first thing you will see if one engine is failing, and it's failing immediately, is that the nose gets down. Let's say if this engine fails, that the nose wants to go to the right. And that also because the nose is turning like this wing gives less lift than this wing, and this wing comes up. So what the aircraft is doing is this one and this one. And that's very dangerous at low altitudes. Also, you cannot use your normal climb rate. You cannot climb at a normal angle as you are used to. So you have to lower down your nose. First of all, the amount of drag. An aircraft does not fly like this, but is flying like this. So it catches a lot of drag, a lot of wind and drag. And it means that you're not able to speed up. So it's very important to use your rudder to bring the aircraft again in this position. And that's done by a little indicator on our screens, which is called the fish mouth, and that's positioned over here. You can see on the shifting indicator that you have to use rudder to bring the aircraft in a normal situation. So the actions Sjoerd has to do when we have an engine failure is first of all keep the aircraft as straight as possible, use rudder, keep the wings level, bring your nose down, but not so down that you get your aircraft into the ground. So yeah, you have to lower down your climb rate and then keep the aircraft stable. Below 400 feet, we don't do any action. First of all,
Doing the takeoff.
get altitude. Altitude is safety. Get altitude, 400 feet. And then you ask me what's happening.
Good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And the normal language we use is state failure. So I'll tell him what I can see on our instruments, and if it's a severe engine damage, then we don't have loss of one engine. And it means difficult flying. We can not use the autopilot, we climb to 1500 feet, keep stable, we inform ATC that we have an engine failure and that we keep track on the runway heading, and then we bring us in a safe position, 1500 feet, and then we'll start to making a short-term plan. What are we doing now? First 10 minutes, and we make a long-term plan. What are we going to do? Are we going to return to our original airport? Do we choose an alternate airport? What are we doing? That's the long-term plan. Now, of course, we get back to Dubai as soon as possible, so we make a short approach. Let's see if our Sjoerd can manage that. It's a bit more difficult than a normal approach, and of course we use again our ILS systems to bring us right in front of the runway.
And I have to tell you already, this is my really first time flying with an engine failure. So, but I hope my knowledge don't mind me, lose me. So yeah.
Oh,
good luck, buddy.
Okay, so there we go. Engine
we go.
failure departure.
I release the freeze system. So we have a takeoff clearance.
Yes.
Let's go.
We will. I put the flaps are down, everything is ready. Okay, there we go to take off.
Not everything is ready.
Oh,
You do not have to flaps at 5.
sorry, I put it It was already, not the indicator. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Here we go. First, slamming my cross in 3.
Look out to the side of the
Yep.
and ask me to check the thrust.
Yeah, check thrust.
I'll
please.
check your thrust. Like this. Keep your hands on the handles
Yep.
until we reach V1 and then you both hands on the
Yes.
V1, rotate.
Okay, we have an engine failure.
Check. Engine status. Check.
Okay, so now we have an engine
We
failure,
have an engine
on,
failure.
on the right one.
Engine failure on the right engine. Engine
Yep.
number 2. Check your speed, which is going well. And
Yep.
set it on the right look. Keep it on the line.
Yep. Check.
A bit more nose up because you're too long.
2. Yes. Now you can see, guys, I really push my left feet all the way into that nose to make sure straight that keep that plane straight.
He's a bit struggling.
Yep. It's not the. Oh, it was this one. Inform the ATC, please.
Okay.
An engine failure.
ATC is informed.
Thank you.
Dubai approach. This is my Dubai 1-2. Engine failure. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Keeping runway heading until we reach 1,500 feet.
Yep.
And reporting that when we want to have instructions for return to the ILS.
Step down a little bit.
It's almost impossible to get enough altitude without losing your airspeed at this altitude. And the reason therefore is, and that's interesting, as you notice we have our gear down still. And that's a common thing that happens many times when we are exercising this with real pilots, and you notice that everyone is so confused about what's happening, they forget to retract the landing gear.
Possible rate. Get up.
So the landing gear is giving us much more track than necessary. So now we can get us some more answer. Bring us to 1,500 feet.
Check.
So it's at 1,500. That's a safe altitude. And let's keep the flaps at 75 until they're stable. And then we can retract the flaps also, because the flaps also gives us a lot of track. (1,500 feet level off).
Level off, check.
Maybe people would ask us, why don't you give more power, more thrust? Well, that's because we are on the maximum power which is admissible. We cannot give more thrust than the 90% because we burn our only engine we have at this moment. So we have to be careful with the only engine we have. You can see that he's giving a bit of right turn input to keep the aircraft straight. And that's because the asymmetrical thrust the engine is giving.
So, okay, guys, if you want to go to the gym, you can also join this. It's really powerful.
Normally we have to do a couple of what's called memory items. A couple of actions you should do by head. Not using any checklist, but it's in your head. And it's auto throttle off, which we had off also. Close the... No.
Sorry.
What's the affected engine? What's the engine which is not functioning? Engine number 2. Confirm.
Confirm.
Close. Close the lever over here, starting lever. Confirm engine number 2.
Check. Confirm.
So we have isolated the engine most of the times, and we have severe NSP pull. Also the fire extinguisher trigger, which isolates the engine completely.
So now we are changing to a Cessna.
Okay. After doing the memory items, we do a special checklist, which we have here for engine failures.
Never seen that before.
And all these checkpoints we have to do, there's a lot of things. one of the important things is that we have to choose whether we have an APU available, because if one engine fails, we don't have any power from that engine. And that means that some parts of our systems are not functioning 100%. So we can use all power that we can produce, so we set the APU on. We wait until it's available and then we set the APU on the bus. So it gives us some extra power. And you can see that one of our hydraulic systems is not functioning properly because it has no power. It's not powered. Okay, turn to the right.
Okay. What's heading?
We have permission to fly at 1500 feet on air traffic control, and we have to fly at a heading of 290.
290, thank you.
Maintain your speed 190.
Check.
So the amount of thrust we can use is called maximum continuous thrust, and it's given by the FMC, which tells me that we can use 92% as an absolute maximum, because we burn the engine if we use too much power for a long time. After we've done this special checklist, there's a lot of things which I don't do now. If we have worked out ourselves on this checklist, then we have to check if we need any fuel balancing, because the system, this engine which is running, sucks on the left fuel tanks, and it means the right fuel tanks keep full, the left fuel tanks empty, and it gives us a fuel imbalance, and that prohibits precise steering. Okay, right towards the...
Yep.
So we have Don in the chat, he's a pilot himself, and he just told us he has a Airbus A320 check ride next month, but he was hoping maybe you could do that together with him.
Tell him back. Don, I have twice flown an Airbus A320 at the FSC, at the simulators, and if you would have seen that, then you don't want me as a pilot.
It's kind of Scenic 2.0, but then maybe something different, I don't know.
So Peter, what about you? Have you been a pilot yourself, or are you still?
No, I've passed all my licenses, but I was an instructor for 9 years on IFR flying, instrument flying, and multi-engine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now I'm training pilots for about 9 years here at Racing Training.
Sweet.
Okay, we're flying towards the sea, and as you can see about the screen, this is the runway, double line, with the extended runway center lines over here. So we're flying back towards the approach that we used before when we had our normal engines. I'll set up for you to this one.
Check, thank you. Then I can see the iOS frequency and the diamonds.
You would think that pilots have to fly only, but there's a lot more to do when you have an engine failure. We have to inform our cabin crew, and the cabin crew have to tell passengers that we are returning to the airport. And maybe the first officer, and most of the times the captain, informs the passengers that we have to return because of a technical issue, as we call it. We have to return to the airport, and that they will be getting some advice of our cabin crew. The cabin crew has to prepare for the landing, and also we have to maybe do some calculations, because we have all our fuel. We have started with a lot of fuel, and we have still our fuel with us, so we have to calculate if our weight for our landing is okay, if we are not overweighted. Now, in this case, we have not so much fuel with us, so we are within the limits for a landing, within the weight limits for a landing.
Maybe you can tell.
We also have to communicate with air traffic control about the way we are returning to the airport. because air traffic control keeps all other traffic away from us, gives us all space we need, so we have an absolute priority. And that's nice. In normal situations, air traffic control is the boss. Air traffic control tells us what to do and we have to obey. When we have an engine failure and we declare a mayday, the roles are reversed. We are the boss. We are telling air traffic control what we want to do and how we want to do it, and air traffic control has no authority over that. So that's what's happening when there's a severe problem.
Maybe you can tell why, after an engine failure with a big plane, why the plane still flying for a couple of hours before landing.
And sometimes we need a flying time to lose, to burn fuel and to lose weight. In former days, many aircrafts had a jettison fuel, so they could spit out a certain amount of fuel by nozzles on the wings. But this type of aircraft cannot spit out our fuel, so we have to keep flying until the fuel is burned and our weight is okay.
And that's why maybe the plane in Maastricht with the 747 was flying a lot of time
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
losing its parts.
Yeah, sending it in a hold, using the autopilot and
Yep.
making rounds. So there's also a checklist what we have to do when we have one engine in operative landing, because there are a few precautions we have to take and there are a few differences with a normal landing. One of the most important differences with a normal landing is that we cannot use our normal flap settings, flap 30. We have to use flaps 50, and that means a higher ground speed and a higher speed at the landing. And it means a different position of the aircraft in the air, and it means different steering, especially when you have one engine now. So most pilots don't like landing with a flap 50.
That's so fast. In this case it will be approximately...
Okay, we have the APU generator is okay, so we set it on the bus. Okay, so we have now some extra electricity and our hydraulic pumps all are working.
And actually the flaps 15 stand of this plane is currently the landing speed for a 747. So most of the time. I'm not saying it's a standard because it's completely the way.
Keep an eye
On the diamond.
on
Yep.
the fish mouth
Yep.
and apply enough rubber
Oh, well?
to prevent skidding through the air. Okay, 119, 10, 9, 1500 feet. A bit
Check.
lower than we should
Yeah,
be.
We're 500, 500 below.
Change our heading.
Check. Oh,
320.
320, check.
There's not a big difference flying with one engine. As you can see, our right engine is dead and we have a left engine. With a left engine, you can make a very normal turn to the right. But when I would ask Sjoerd to make a turn to the left, you have to turn into the thrust of the left engine. So your turn radius, our turn radius to the left is almost 1.5 bigger than the turn radius to the right. So you have to take into account that the behavior of the aircraft is very different from flying with normal two engines.
Sorry, landing checklist. That's a takeoff checklist.
Something you almost would forget, we haven't done the after takeoff checklist. And that's because we are so busy talking to you and keeping the aircraft in flying conditions.
But of course we can do the approach.
Okay, you can turn towards the runway.
Check. 119er.
I'll ask Sjoerd to bring us into the direction of the center line. So he makes a turn first at 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees to arrive over here.
Yeah, still pressing a little bit on with my left feet, the nose a little bit to the left,
Yeah.
to maintain the plane going straight. It's actually just feeling, from my experience, it's just feelings like you're flying in a storm or in a crosswind continuous. It's really impossible always crosswind, but yeah, that's my experience. What I just said is my first time this time flying with 190 with a 737 of course. But yeah, it's funny. It's really challenging for you guys who love the flight simulator. Try this. It's really nice because you keep pressing your feet. Normally you're sitting straight, of course, sitting like comfort. And now I'm constantly give my feet, my left feet, a little bit pressure to make sure the plane is not straight. If I release it, you will see it's want to go that way. So I press a little bit back. And to make sure that the plane will maintain the select heading, which is 2-2. So there you go.
You can also see the yaw damper is heavy work to keep the aircraft straight. It's insisting this movements on the steering. But nevertheless, he has to use rudder to keep the aircraft in the right airstream and not flying like this. Okay, turn right again. Check. Heading of 090.
090, check.
Keep 15 feet. Keep an airspeed of 190. So going perfect. Very good.
Thank you. It's really challenging for me. I mean, this is my really first time.
I'll do some parts of the descent and approach checklist.
Yeah.
I'll do it by head. I'll set the auto brake system to
And then maybe we can do the landing checklist after. And then
landing check. Yeah, and we have some special items for the landing checklist.
Yeah, I believe.
Because one of the, I mentioned before, one of the important things is that we cannot use flaps 30 in a low airspeed when landing, but we have to use flaps 15.
Checking where's your runway. I want to see the localizer. There it is. Nice.
You have to turn to the heading to get it back.
Yeah. Because I need to approach
Offers here.
offers here. Okay. Thank you. It feels also weird to fly
Make it
just.
on for 5. Then look more steep turn.
Yep.
Otherwise we are not
Get it.
in time in front of the runway. Don't make too sharp turns. 15,
No.
20 degrees.
Oh, a little bit sharp and then here we go.
Much more. This way. Just wait until this one
Moving, yeah.
middle and then you have to turn.
To the
Oh, there you can see the
Oh, there's your runner already. So it's moving shortly.
I'll wait for this to become purple going
Yeah.
down, and then it's time to gear down flap 15.
And maximum flap 15, and there it is. Oh, flying.
Yeah, towards not too sharp turns.
No.
Take your time. Synchronize the wing. Keep 1500 feet.
Yep.
Use your nose up trim. Sucks you down.
There it is. There we go.
Watch your speed.
Check.
Turn to the front.
Yep.
Do some cross checking, visual outside, checking your instruments, visual outside. So, okay. Our glide scope is alive.
Yep. So landing gear down.
Get gear down.
Flap 15 already.
Flap 15 and I'll set for flap 15 speed.
Thank you.
Did some extra. So 160.
Check.
Normally you would prepare for missed approach and a go around procedure. Don't do that now because Sjoerd is flying so well, so we don't need any go around. I hope.
Fingers crossed, guys.
But normally you have to always prepare for a go around.
I still want to have the landing checklist.
Yeah. So we have flaps 15 speed. And the landing checklist.
1,000.
The engine start switches are continuous. The speed brake is armed at this point.
Light slope.
Landing gear is down 3 green.
Yep.
Flap
Check.
15.
Check.
Green light.
Light slope.
Speed up.
Speed up.
You're below the speed.
Light
Yep,
slope.
I see.
And then
I'm feeling the plane wants to
and
go
you're,
down.
you're below
Light
the light.
slope.
So give some nose up trim. Not more.
Light
No,
slope.
no. You do this, tick, 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 but you should do it half a second.
Ah, okay.
Light slope.
Flash slope check. Yep, there we go. So guys who want to hire me as pilot.
Keep an eye on your rudder pressure because
Yep.
there's some difference. No, less.
400.
Yeah.
Reduce rudder. Yeah. Move to the left. Because this one
Approaching
engine,
minimums.
Yeah, I want
it
to
should drift to the right.
Yeah.
You have to make some counter movement.
Minimums. 200.
Okay. You have a long runway, take your
Twenty. 10.
Fine. Speed brakes are up. You have
Okay.
one reverser, so you're drifting almost the other side.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. So. Fire
Yeah.
and we are going to the restaurant and we let the people inside the aircraft.
To make sure their tanks are empty. And I noticed because it's one engine, it's really slow braking.
So
So
we set it on the runway. We wait for the inspection.
yep. So we hold short on the runway.
We're short on the runway. We don't vacate the runway until the aircraft is inspected.
Yep.
And
So?
then
So I will make sure that. Thank you. Thank you.
and we call for the van to pick us up.
Come on, guys. Who's want to pick up?
Well done!
Bushy
Well
comes
done.
Thank you. And I'm really genuinely. It is really my first time
No,
for my whole
you're
life
kidding us. That
to
can't be
fly with
true.
one engine, which is 2 engines. So, and then in the simulator,
Very well
I
done.
hope it's recorded really well. I want to see that again.
And I'll prepare for the next flight. And this is a special flight. That's flying without any engine.
Yes!
Is that possible? Yes, it's possible.
Of course.
But not for a long time.
We will dive into the Hudson.
We will do the Hudson, right? Yeah. We're just doing the Hudson. Flying above the bridge as well, you know, like the scene.
Okay, I'll pass the camera.
Lovely!
Well, it's also some time to push. Maybe you have to fly. I think you have to fly now.
I will give it a shot. So I'll give a quick word with the viewers.
I mean, they had a lot of.
So guys, again, thank you so much for still joining. We will have a very short break here, just sip a little bit of the coffee and the tea. And then it's probably my turn, together with Peter, to fly the airplane with absolutely 0 engines. And we will try to fly it into the Hudson River. So it will be very interesting. We will be with you very shortly. And by the way, guys, as usual, if you like what you see, don't forget to give us a thumbs up or, of course, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and be right back in just about 2 or 3 minutes. Oh, interesting. Don flew over the plane in the Hudson water. Like an expressway visual.
So guys, who wants to hire me now? Who's it like an NCO or something? But literally, it's really special. It's really supportive and challenging. It's like, who's your flying this country? So are you ready?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah.
I mean, the last time I saw
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, very
What
interesting.
really got the right here?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. There we go, guys. All the better? Yeah, he has also fellas. Ah, who saw my shirt? Who saw my shirt? I mean, somebody's asking about the MX-5, what the hell? Where I plan to fly, guys? It's all... He's reading the chat? Oh yeah.
Show your shirt one more time.
I won't put Okay, guys. For the viewers.
Watch your head. Yeah.
There we go.
Excellent.
Oh, vroom time.
Mazda Miata.
Oh my god, man.
So guys, Sjoerdie was just showing his shirt, and he actually drives one of these fairly new Mazdas. Mazda, what is it?
Mazda MX-5.
Mazda MX-5.
Yeah.
Very nice car. Little red Ferrari of Sjoerdie.
Oh, fire ladies are rather laughing again. I think they're dying now of laughing. I'm not sure. I mean, Jurgen is now laughing. Dutch bus is
Why
laughing.
didn't I put on my Batman shirt?
Copper's out though. The Dutch bus is the copper's out though. Oh, lovely. They should do the voice open when Sebastian flying.
No.
I don't have this beautiful voice. Can you hear it?
Absolutely, yes we can. Of course we will. Sjoerdie will do the voiceover, guys. Absolutely, yes.
I mean, I don't have that voice. No, I can't say it. I've heard my name.
Sjoerdie will put on his candlelight voice.
Yes. T-shirt boxes are ready.
Welcome at candlelight. And he will read some poems for us as well.
We have a little bit package.
Some candlelight. What is it?
Ooh, did you hear, guys? It's really supposed. This time, really singing. There's no audio set.
Yeah, I do sing so now and then. Mostly under the shower.
Luckily, the window still survives, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do have a crack in my windshield.
Yeah, it's not because of singing.
That's from the singing.
You said there was something about a truck, something fell off or something.
So yeah, in case you don't know, I have a crack in the windshield of my car, guys. So yeah, maybe it's just because of the singing.
Yeah, it's not because of the truck story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, Marla said what? What? Guys, are you still enjoying?
TD. Now I got the song in my head. Yeah, I get.
I guess so.
What better TV can you look at during a Saturday night evening than flying matters? Flight simulator.
Yeah, football's over right now.
Is there football on the television?
I don't care. I don't care.
I believe that Big Jet is still on the television, so
Don't say that.
yeah.
Want das ganz verkauft?
And he's going for a long run, I believe, today.
Well, maybe he can film us. Where is he staying?
Sorry?
Where is he recording?
Heathrow.
We get plus
Yeah. He will be, I think he will be in the States, go back, so. Next week he's going to Heathrow. Coming up. So guys, Peter still preparing some of the instructions here. Printing the very last manuals for our emergency landing into the Hudson with 0 engine power. This time me, myself and I will fly the airplane, of course, together with Peter.
Give them a little bit more.
Excellent.
Kun je dat ook filmen?
Sorry?
Kun je zo'n scherm filmen?
Filmen?
Ja.
Zeker.
Dus straks kunnen we laten zien namelijk wat er is gebeurd met die Hudson vlucht.
Ja, ja zeker.
Nou, CFT gaat
Oh boy, that really feels like last bird. Als je daar staat. Stap hem op mensen.
Ja, precies zo.
Ja. Oh, zo.
Zo, voor de ding staat zo eventjes naar 30
nog een keer.
Out in the sun.
Even kijken.
Het zou mooi als het geluid uitkomt dat jij de motoren blijft namen.
Ja, ja, ja.
Oké, ik ben prepared, dus ik kan wat dingetjes uitleggen. Dat ga ik doen aan de hand van dit kaartje.
Ja, oké. Hartstikke mooi. Oh, ja, ik meestal dus, kijk, ik kan je even laten zien als je hier op staat.
Ja.
Ja. Deze.
Oh, die weet je.
Als je de andere kant doet, zoekt u weer.
Oh, zo
Zo
de...
eruit. In case of an emergency, geen skin meer vallen.
So, here you go guys. That's the first stage of today, finally. Flight leaders, is
Excellent.
really alone now. Yeah, there's a lot of knobs on there.
So, are you the one who's saving our lives?
Yeah, probably, hopefully, yes.
Okay. I'll
Cross
tell
our
you.
fingers, guys, now.
I can
tell
add
you
it in the
what's
Hudson
going
anyway,
to
but if you will survive, that's the second question.
We are on the airport of LaGuardia in New York, and it was a really cold day, a November day. Everything seems to be normal. The weather was good, quiet weather. And what happened with the Airbus A320 was that they hit a flock of birds on an altitude of 3,400 feet. And both of the engines were in one moment inoperative. So I lost both engines, which is very rare and very special. The flight we are going to make is the same flight as Captain Sulemacher did with his A320. There's one big difference. We are not so trained pilots as Captain Solemacher, especially this one
Thank you.
isn't so trained.
Can I get a big applause, guys?
And another big difference is that Captain Solemacher flew an Airbus and we are flying a Boeing. And our systems are a bit different, especially when with engine failures from the Airbus. We don't have so much automation as an Airbus, and so we have to do some special parts in order to keep our hydraulic systems just a bit of working. And an Airbus is more forgivable in this condition, but we have to do some extras. Over here you can see what's called the Hudson miracle. It's a view on what was happening. Is it visible, Sjoerd?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good.
What was happening? So we have a departure to the north, and as soon as we're making a slight turn at an altitude of 1500, 1700 feet, you're starting this very light turn, they hit a flock of goose, heavy birds, on this point. So just after takeoff, the altitude was low, 3,400 feet.
Maybe a little bit closer than you.
Over here you can see it. So Captain Solemacher didn't know, should I return to the airport or should I do something else? Air traffic control advised another airport, but he soon noticed that it was not a realistic option to fly to another airport. So first he said, now let's get some power extra. So he started, and that was a very good decision. He started the APU. He started his auxiliary power unit to give him some extra power, because no engines means no power at all, except from your batteries, but they are exhausted very soon. So he switched it on the APU, and that's what we're gonna do. One of the first actions is you switch on your APU. He turned back to have an option to land on the airport from a different direction, or to land in the Hudson. And after 30 seconds he decided to land in the Hudson because he judged that he couldn't reach the airport. We have tried a number of times with this simulator to reach the airport. None of the pilots, even very well trained pilots, succeeded in reaching the airports if you lose your engines at an altitude of 3,400 feet at this position. It's impossible. You land it in the lake. So what we can do is land in the Hudson, but it requires very precise flying. If you lose too much energy, you don't even reach the Hudson. And he reached the Hudson very well. He flew over one bridge and landed before the other bridge. So most of the pilots who try this don't even can fly about over the first bridge, but they fly under the bridge. So I'm curious if he can manage to land at the Hudson. Landing on water, it's called ditching, and ditching is the most dangerous operation you can perform with an aircraft. Ditching is only successful, can only be successful when you absolutely are level with your airplane. If you're not level and one of your wings hits the water first, it's over and out. You don't survive. Our airspeed still will be 215 kilometers an hour. So
It's quite
that's one.
substantial.
Yeah. So keep it level. The second important thing is to land at the lowest possible speed. So we have to move just before you hit the water. You have to move the nose up. We have to use the maximum flaps we can reach. We cannot get our normal flap settings because we don't have any hydraulic power to set our flaps, but we have a sort of spare hydraulics, and we can activate these spare hydraulics to give us some flaps, but not the full flaps we are normally used for a landing. So use our flaps as possible, fly to use the right speed without engines. If you dive too fast, you don't reach the Hudson. If you're not flying, if you fly too slow, then you lose altitude too fast. So you have to balance the aircraft at a very special speed, and I'll tell you, what speed would be the optimum.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
you handle your speed with your pitch. Pitching up, pitching down, because you don't have any thrust. So
What will he pitch during touchdown? Will it be like 5% something or?
in an Airbus, it's he lifted up about 18.5 degrees.
Okay.
So we lift up about 15 degrees. We have some other geometrics as an Airbus, so you can try it.
Okay. So one more time, APU, switch on,
Switch on APU.
over the first bridge.
Just make a turn to the left. Don't use big bank angles, because a large bank angle means that you're losing energy.
Yeah.
Don't lift up your nose too far. Don't put your nose down too far. So balancing the aircraft is the secret. So make it a miracle.
Let's give it a shot.
Marjolein says even on the jet is quiet when Peter's explained his whole situation. So that's really funny. Everybody's listening, so that's good.
It's good.
It's good. So, Sebastian, how do you feel now after this explaining? Do you know
Well,
what to do?
I'm already making my hands a little bit drier here.
It's already you're sweating. Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel excited about this one. Yeah.
I think I will have to say, according to all the viewers, good luck.
Yeah. But the problem is you set the level of quality very high with
Yeah,
making
yeah, yeah.
perfect
I mean,
landings all the time.
I didn't say about that name. Who made that name? Like Flight of Adams.
So the heat is on.
Yeah, the heat is very on. I hope you still have some air conditioning and stuff. But I will shut up. Shut up.
Al did the checklist.
Excellent.
He performed the flights as if it was the real flight. That means that we use auto throttle and use the autopilot. And just don't touch the pedals during the takeoff, only to correct our heading. But don't use the brakes, because you're going in the rejected takeoff situation and you cannot accelerate.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Everybody says good luck. Good
Thank you guys.
After
Pray for
takeoff,
me.
after takeoff, you make a pitch up, nose up pitch, 15 degrees on your screen.
Excellent. Okay.
Keep the runway track until you hear the bangs and we lose our engines. So you know. Okay, there we go. Balancing. Everything looks normal. Pushing the toga switches. There we go. Let it go. Don't use your pedals on steering.
Use the pedals?
Yeah, don't use the pedals. Don't
Okay.
use the
Not at all. Okay. Ah, it's going to correct.
B1. Rotate.
speed, straight, thumbs up,
My girlfriend
Rees.
is watching now.
pitch, 400 feet, speed of 163 knots, it's okay,
Excellent.
nose down a bit.
And we use your headset, so we can hear. Or
Okay, switch it off.
Oh,
Oh my god.
trouble!
Engine failure! Engine failure!
Warnings.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ah,
We
lose
lose
power.
screens.
Okay, so it's the
So-
APU.
Yep. APU on.
No power, see? So this is the
Time.
time the
Don't descend too fast. Start making a turn.
there you go guys, no HTVs, no power at all.
Like a glider.
Like a glider. Well, I notice you are experienced with gliding, so I think you can do that. Guys, I want to say, I mentioned just, he doesn't have a mustache just like Sully, but I hope he's still landing just like Sully, so.
2,500.
Can we already see the Hudson?
No. We will never reach the Hudson. Because you're not in the turn.
Sebastian, even my girlfriend is now watching.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's my warning.
Set it on the freeze. We still are flying almost in the direction of the runway. So we should, by now, we should have been around.
Okay.
Make the turn to the left.
Aha. Okay, I thought we would follow this heading.
So we do a second attempt because this leads to landing in New York itself. So it's not gonna work.
Don't do that again.
The Hudson is over there, over the left. You can see that?
Okay, oh, that one.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, that one. That's the
Okay.
river. So we're flying along the river. Wrong direction.
Okay,
Good.
well, let's
Yes,
give it another try then.
Can you reset fail? Push button
Where is it?
on the right side, just above where you now are. Now there is a button
note?
reset fail
This one?
on the right. No. Not in the menu, but in the, go to the failures page, malfunctions page,
Malfunction? Yes.
and you can see a button with white numbers and
Oh,
letters.
here.
Yeah, reset fail. Can you reset the fail?
Yeah.
Okay. Might try it another time.
Okay, so what are we heading after takeoff then? I didn't get that right the first time.
Yeah.
Second attempt, guys. Second attempt. So that's already, that's how strict this landing has to be. You really need to be precise, otherwise you will definitely not make it. Because we're still gliding, we are not using engine at all. And no engine means rubbing. But how you can rub, that's how you do it.
When we have the engine failure, we are in a slight left turn.
Okay.
So if the engine failure happens, you have to increase your left turn. Because you want to, maybe we want to return. It's one of the most important options in first return to the airport. So making a turn backwards. During this turn, we realize that we are not able to reach the airport. So you look around and you can see the Hudson over there. So you decide, okay, to land in the Hudson.
Yeah.
That's what happens. I'll switch on the power units, but you see you're losing your screens.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's hard. Life is hard. So,
Life is hard.
yeah.
Everything is hard here.
There's still a activation button. You can push in the engine 1 and engine 2 on the other side to activate the failures. They become orange.
Yeah, they become orange now, yeah.
And then below you can
Fill now.
activate. No, you can activate a number with the altitude.
Where's the altitude?
ATL. The ATL altitude. I'll come to help.
Yeah. This is my really first time using this computer, so. Sorry.
Fill in 3400 and then enter. No, please.
Oh, sorry.
Not the red button, Sjoerdie.
Where's the red button? 3400?
Yeah.
And then?
And
and then enter. Yep.
Activated.
Yep, it's now they're conditioning.
Okay.
Oh my god,
Okay.
guys.
Don't touch the pedals.
Oh, Dutchy Bass is a bit jealous of us.
Okay,
Sorry?
there we go.
Dutchy Bass is really jealous.
I can imagine, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. Accelerating.
Airspeed is alive.
V1. Rotate.
15. Also the brakes.
You're up.
You're up.
Can we already make the turn now?
No, no. No turns below 400 feet. Now you can slightly start to turn, just slightly. Nose down. You're losing airspeed. Nose more down. You want to accelerate.
Yuli Trump just gave us a €5 and it says, "Let me eat their water."
Okay. Turning. It's like climbing. Also.
Oh shit.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
There's
CPU.
engine failure.
CPU please.
Both engines just been lost.
Turn left. The airspeed drops too much.
Okay. Nose down.
Nose down, bit, not too much. Now you're descending much too fast. See that?
Yep.
Nose up a bit. And try to figure out what's the optimum.
Yeah.
Look at your instruments. Don't look only outside, but look at your instruments. What I'll do is activate the alternate flaps and I'll push them down.
Yuli, thank you very much for your donation.
Keep turning.
Sebastian's really going to land this plane on the water, on the Hudson.
We're still at flaps 5 at this moment.
25.
Try to bring them further on. Now we get all kinds of warnings.
Okay, we just ignore them.
Ignore them.
We keep turning.
Keep turning and fly over the river. This is one of the first bridges we cross.
Yeah.
That's good. Good altitude. Flaps are slowly moving down to 10 degrees. So you can reduce your airspeed a bit to, let's say, 170. And keep flying. Track the middle of the river. This is going well.
It's looking good, guys.
Yeah.
It looks very good. Really.
Thanks to the down button, the flaps are now at flaps 15, and that's probably what we can reach at most.
Okay.
Flying straight ahead and keep your speed at the 160.
1,000. 2 more here.
So we now are sailing aircraft, the glider.
2 more here. Sync rate. Cool. Up.
So we warn the cabin crew.
Here.
They prepare for impact.
Sink rate 400.
Choose the middle.
Terrain 400.
Careful for
Sink rate 300. Minimums.
Your speed is 155.
Minimums 200.
Nose down a bit.
No, no, no.
Nose up.
Too low.
Keep it
Terrain
this way. 100 and now nose up.
100. Too low.
Just milking out the aircraft. Nose up. And straight
50,
level. Perfectly
40.
level.
30.
Okay. Nose up,
20.
bit, nose up,
10.
nose up. And okay. We hit the water. And we are gliding over the water.
Wow. We did it.
Give that applause, guys. Give that applause.
Okay. Can you give me the keyboard?
Yeah.
Whoa. I know it's fake, but it was nerve-breaking in some way.
Wow, well done.
Phew.
Deep bow. A deep bow from everybody. Also from
Thank
me.
you guys. Ooh,
Very appreciated.
very happy with this one, I guess.
Even I'm getting jealous. Even I am.
Ooh,
Wow.
wow.
Yes. That's impressive.
Thanks guys. Thanks.
Nice. Good luck. Give that high five. Give that
Wow.
high five.
Interesting. Interesting. Phew.
That, oh, good job, Gilles.
We'll show you. You can.
Ah, we can see
you
the
can-
flight pattern.
Yeah, but if you can film
Yeah.
the big screen over there.
Okay.
Oh, you can. You have to control your camera. Oh, the Subrick says now out for a swim.
Let's go out for the swim.
Sjoerdie, he is better than you. I know. I'm getting jealous. Now we're going to the big screen so you can see what Sebastian literally did.
So let's
So-
pop you out of the simulator.
So there we go, guys. This is Sully 2.0 movie. This time with the KL, really nice. But you can see the big screen there, maybe.
On the big screen.
Yeah, the big
This is the pattern, right?
Yeah, that's a flight pattern.
Yeah.
Sink rate. Pull up.
Back in.
So we'll have a replay at the big screen.
Yep.
Ah, excellent.
And this is the replay.
Over the tripod.
This is the replay at the small screen. So this is what you have flown.
Thank you.
And this is
You're welcome.
Hold on, guys. Oh, I'm missing the socket here. No, let's do it this way then.
Can I turn off the light, maybe? See more. Can I turn off the light? Maybe see more. Better? Better or not?
Yeah, it's just a little wrinkly, but
Yeah, but you don't see there's nothing.
it's no problem. We can see it. We can see
Yep.
it.
So this is actual Sebastian.
Ah, that's me. It's in the KLM. Nice. By the way, guys, thank you so much for still hanging around with us here at. Can you tell me one more time the name of your company?
Sim flying.
Sim Flying.
Sim flying.
Sim Flying Amsterdam. And of course, if you have it already, feel free to slam that like button or of course subscribe. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, we're watching the replay of my Hudson landing.
The Hudson miracle.
That's a miracle.
Sink rate. Here. Sink rate. Pull up. Too low here. Sink rate 500. Terrain 400.
Which is simple. Like
Sink
this.
rate minimum.
You showed them the cards.
Minimum.
Hij kan horen.
200.
Doe de werk of veel kaartjes.
Kaartje.
100. Too low. Terrain. 50.
Kijk, 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 kijk.
30.
Mooi.
20.
Ja, naar achter, naar achter, naar achter, naar achter. Ja, 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 ja.
Oh, it's even better in replay. Just kidding. Wow, Nice.
Hij blijft op drijven, hè, die Airbus. Nou,
Lachen.
dat is wij.
Ja.
Beautiful. Okay, get the ferries, get the rescue boats, Coast Guard, everybody, come on. Catering. How can I do this catering? Oh, now we're fighting.
Zo kan het ook.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
This is like a bounty flight. This plane is made from rubber. That's right.
Very nice. Excellent.
Really.
Nice. Okay. So I think we are pretty much
But I think it's.
we are pretty much done here, I believe.
I believe, yes. Or maybe they want to see something else. I don't know. But I don't know if we still make it.
How? What time is it? Yeah, it's about time to leave for me
Yeah.
anyway. So, Peter, is there anything you wish to say to the viewers
No,
for the moment?
I hope they learned a lot and I hope they enjoyed it a lot. So maybe till next time.
Sjoerdie, what about you?
I really jealous to Sebastian. He's really good. I mean, this is his first attempt by this. I'm really jealous. And thank you very much to view this. I hope you enjoyed this whole evening. I hope the daughter, I don't know what to mention.
Julia.
Julia, I hope you like the gift, especially for me and from your father via also. But thank you very much, guys, to see this beautiful stream. I'm sorry I wasn't there the couple of times, but I hope it made it still good. And thank you very much for your compliments. I saw already some from the chat. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. I will come back, of course. Spas, it's now for you. Your time to close.
And I will come back as well, guys. That's a promise. I'm just kidding. Again, guys, thank you so much for hanging around here with us at Sim Flying Amsterdam. I will place a link to this company in the description below, so you can check out for yourself and make a booking yourself as well if you like. For now, have yourself a cracking evening, and I certainly will. Thank you again so much. Don't forget to join me not tomorrow but Monday. We will be live again here at Schiphol Airport. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye bye.
Nice.